Video games! So I'm going to introduce this week's game by way of a story.
I thought you were gonna
Brief indulgence
a little song
required.
You take the green, red, and the green? Go ahead.
When I was in college, I lived in a house with several guys, and I had stopped writing my video game column for a while.
I think I had the same story.
And I'd sort of been out of the video game loop a little bit for a couple of years, and we had a PlayStation in the house, and we went and we rented a game, and we brought that game home, and it turned out when we rented it, we did not get the instruction booklet. That game turned out to be Resident Evil 2.
Yes.
We put that game in, and it was, a bunch of guys hanging out, want to play a game together. Only one person gets the controller.
Of course.
Everybody else gets to experience, watch out, go. And we didn't have the instructions, so we didn't know what the controls were for this game. So we didn't know, and if you remember Resident Evil 2, if you're old school like me and you played it, you remember the controls are a little wonky, camera angles are a little wonky. There's a lot of screaming and yelling and run this direction.
I think it's behind you.
I think pistol!
I can't see it.
Turn around!
Yeah. Turning does nothing.
So, and then there were these great puzzles in the game where people who weren't having the controller in their hand got to, go to the left, oh, just push that thing over to the right. So basically, it was the co-op experience before there was co-op. Flash forward to today, Resident Evil 5 has just come out from Capcom, and it is the Resident Evil game, Resident Evil World Zombies, but true co-op this time. So now we don't have to pass the controller around to each other and while we're sitting next to each other. We both, or two of us at least, can play at the same time. So this one is set, at least at the beginning, in Africa. And you play, oh God, what's the name?
Chris.
Chris
Redfield.
Yes. Who has a whole history, convoluted Capcom-style video game history. All the Capcom characters all look the same to me. It's very strange. But, and anyway, he has a new partner in this African adventure, and whether you're playing single player or co-op, that partner is with you the whole time, and very much of this game is built around the partnering experience. There are areas you can reach only if you cooperate together. There are challenges that happen that separate you. So, that being said, I played this game with a friend. I know you guys played this game together. So I am going to attempt the unprecedented co-op review. So go at it, guys. Right. Cooperatively review Resident Evil 5.
This panel over here. I should be in this panel up here when we move to
that's one thing that's really cool. We played, this game is just coming out today as this is released. So we played a pre-release version, and as such, we weren't able to go online and play, which has full online co-op.
Yeah.
So we all played split screen co-op, and they do a really interesting thing. Usually if you see a split screen game, it's either split down the center or split sideways, so the screen is split.
I didn't see it split on the center thing.
No, I said usually in these games,
yeah.
like Halo 2 was like that. This game actually gives you your own full screen, but kind of offsets it a little, so the aspect ratio isn't changed.
Yeah.
You get your own full screen, which I thought was a great way to do this. Yeah. Obviously, playing online would be much preferable, but we didn't have that option. So, attempt your co-op review, boys. I want to see how you do it.
I
thought
that's horrible. We should stop now because we're like really 5 minutes.
We're like a newlywed couple who's leaving their first home voicemail message together.
Yeah.
I love you.
I'm assuming you guys know what each other thinks.
How do I turn it off?
I'm assuming you know what each other thinks because you were sitting next to each other.
I will say.
Yeah, go first.
I'm
going to do the assist jump into the review.
Yeah. I loved playing this game. Reminded me of why Resident Evil 4 was the game of the year. I loved Resident Evil 4.
Back in the day when it was out on the GameCube.
Right. Back in the day? I felt like that was 2 years ago, but I guess.
But it was re-released on the Wii.
Yeah.
So maybe it was.
No. I played on the GameCube. Amazing. I may have bought a GameCube for it. Res Evil 5 was just as awesome. Graphics were amazing.
Help him at all, or?
I'm waiting.
The graphics were amazing. Unfortunately, because we had to play tiny screens, we didn't get to experience the whole game.
Tiny.
Full screens. I was bummed.
Come on.
I was really bummed. But I found it very hard to notice if it was in-engine or funny that we had that. I had that slip up last week because there were times where it felt rendered.
It did.
Cut sequences.
It did. I felt the same thing. I was like,
That's in-engine.
I was like, please be some of this be
what's
rendered
amazing.
because I feel like I ate words.
Yeah, amazing. The controls are so specific to this, to 4 and 5, right? And it's so different at first. It's so hard to get used to, but once you do, it was like, I love
Now
playing
that's
that
been
way.
the big criticism is that this game has been, quote, stuck in the past where you can't, it doesn't play like a third-person shooter.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel.
Yeah.
It should.
Well,
this
let's
game-
explain what that is real